Welcome to A Fan's Perspective. It's your boy Boogie 45. How y'all feeling, man? Now today, we had, I don't know, is this the end of the end of radio? I don't think radio will ever end, but I think this is the end of an era, for High 97. And Ebro, Laura Styles, and Rosenberg, unfortunately they was let go. And along with the Block, which had Ed Lover and Miss Jones, right? So I'm gonna get into the Ebro stuff, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it. Okay, where we at with it? Where we at?
You look around all the major media outlets. Look at all the major media outlets, man. All of them. Look at all of them. They all got to fold up because they all trying to renew their deals, their licenses. They all, well, in this particular situation, we'll get into more specifics another time. Bro's a casino owner. You know those 3 licenses that they got here in New York City for the casinos? The guy that owns the shit owns one of the casinos licenses. He got to raise $500,000, bro. $500 million, excuse me. They need my shit talking anti-Netanyahu, anti-government, progressive shit out the way, bro. They need me out the way. They trying to get to these bags that these VCs got, raise some capital. They don't really care, like, especially for like a Hot 97 and a WBLS. They don't give a fuck about hip hop or black music or black community. They don't give a fuck about none of that. They give a fuck about access. They give a fuck about being able to bring their little nerdy friends to the concerts because that helps them raise money. They've been trying to get to me for years, bro. Years. But, if you look around all the major...
Let's get to the one. All right. First of all, with Ebro, right? I think what happened with High 97 is they took their pulse off the culture. You know what I mean? They took their pulse off the culture, and they stopped playing New York music. I mean, the only one that was playing New York music besides Funkmaster Flex was DJ K Slade, rest in peace. But to be frank, man, Ebro is an asshole, man. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. You know what I mean? And you're disconnected from the culture, man. You know what I mean? And New York don't even, it wasn't sounding like New York for a while. A lot of the new acts that was coming out, they wasn't getting no radio play, so they was skipping past radio and going straight to the internet. You understand what I'm saying? And then also, when rappers come up there, you getting into it with rappers, always want to be argumentative. You wasn't really a fan of the culture that you claim to defend, man. Laura Styles, I mean, I feel sorry for her out of the whole situation, out of everybody. But Ebro and Rosenberg, man, Ebro, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like you really wasn't messing with New York music like that, man. Let's keep it real. And you really wasn't in tune with what was going on in New York when it came to music. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Flex, we wouldn't have a voice. You know what I mean? Flex is the only one that's keeping New York alive and taking the new acts and putting them out there, giving them a shot, giving them, putting some light on them. You understand? This city is too big for when people come through to not get any kind of real radio play. That's crazy. So I think that it's the end of an era. I ain't gonna miss that motherfucker, man. I ain't gonna even hold you. You know what I mean? And Hot 97, when you look just as a whole, the company, y'all lost all y'all best talent. Think about it. Everybody that's the star on all these radio stations, when it comes to black music, a lot of them was on Hot 97. You know, when it come down to what's his name? Even Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, all the DJs, DJ Envy. You know what I mean? Angie Martinez. You know, Hot 97 was a powerhouse, man. And they lost all their best talent. You know what I mean? So I think this move right here kind of put the nail in the coffin. You know? But anyway, I'm gonna get into an article because Ed Lover and Miss Jones, those are other Hot 97 transplants. They came from Hot 97 as well. Star came from Hot 97 as well. But Star was the only one to really establish himself in this internet space. But let me go read an article real quick. Let me show y'all the article real fast. Okay. So, 2 morning shows came to shock ends in one day. And they put an update. Funkmaster Flex is taking over mornings at Hot 97, at least for now. Shout outs to Funk Flex. Shout outs to Funk Flex. Major changes appear to be underway in New York City radio, as 2 of his biggest hip-hop morning shows have gone silent. It started at Media Co's Hot 97 with the apparent end of Ebro in the morning and quietly spread to a competing station before the day's end. On Friday, Ebro Darren, Lauren Styles, and Peter Rosenberg each confirmed that their morning show, a fixture of WQHT since 2012, has ended in its current form. All references to Ebro in the morning were quickly removed from Hot 97's website, and Ebro posted a heated explanation on social media implying that he was let go by Media Co, at least in part of his political beliefs, and telling people to follow Ebro in the morning on YouTube for the show's next chapter. The animosity appears to be shared amongst former co-hosts. At the end of a lengthy post on Instagram, Rosenberg wrote, "And to the people who used to be at Hot and the few who remain who truly care about the brand and the culture, I hope I mostly made you proud." When Rosenberg joined the station, it was owned by MS Communications. WQHT was sold to MediaCo in 2019. Added to the intrigue, Odyssey-owned rival 94.7 The Block quietly removed morning host Miss Jones and even personality Ed Lover from the station's website later in the day. Jones had previously done mornings on Hot 97 with Star and Buck Wild and later DJ Envy. Friday's announcement are the latest in a string of high-profile schedule changes at Hot 97 this year. In September, the station confirmed a new weekday lineup that shifted Funkmaster Flex to a new time slot and removed DJ Enough from the weekday roster. Flex himself had fueled confusion weeks earlier with a social media post implying retirement, a post later clarified by MediaCo as a little promotional misdirection for the schedule refresh. So, you know, it's the end of an era, man. That's it in a nutshell. It's the end of an era, and I hope everybody that was on radio has established themselves on the internet, right? Whether it be your own website, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and establish their own brand so people can tune in to them. If they want to listen to them, they can tune in to them. You know what I mean? Because nothing lasts forever, especially when it don't matter if you're working for somebody or you're in business. Some businesses last, some businesses have a long run. They can go the distance, and some businesses don't last long. They'll make a lot of money while they're here, but eventually they're gonna go. And it's the same thing when it comes to jobs and careers, man. Nothing lasts forever. And in the entertainment, on the internet, people listen to who they want to listen to. You understand? And I feel like if they establish themselves on the internet, they can still have their fan base. And I'm talking about all parties included: Rosenberg, Ebro, Laura Styles, Ed Lover, Miss Jones. But the only thing is, you have to build your fan base from the bottom up. You got to build an audience. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the end of an era, man. I grew up on all this shit, man. You know what I mean? And it's like that was like the nail in the coffin, you know. But you still got Funk Flex there, but Funk Flex seemed like he the only one there. I don't even know who else be, you know. I think Drewski probably still there, but yeah, it's the end of an era, man. You know, honestly, like for me, I don't really listen to the morning show like that. I got my own people on the tube that I like to tune into. You know, if I'm on my way to work or what have you. You know what I mean? Like I don't really listen to the morning show unless it's just on. You know what I mean? Because I'm always listening to all the hip hop stations. You know what I mean? And a little R&B too. You know what I'm saying? But if it's just on, then I'll listen to it if it's interesting. But that's not something I gotta wake up in the morning and you know what I mean. So it's really the rush hour people. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, everybody listen to who they want to listen to in this time period now. So you know, you just gotta spread your wings. You understand? You gotta spread your wings, and I'm pretty sure they made a hell of a lot of money while they was there. So they'll be all right. You understand? Anyway, this is from a fan's perspective. Quick thoughts. Peace.